As the Republic Poly Alumni Committee's president, will you be starting off the speech?
Thank you. So,
Okay.
good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Wei Xiang, for the introduction. I'm Nirmal, and I'm also running as the president of Republic Poly Alumni Committee, and I'll also be hosting today's event. So, I'd like to have a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Just before we start, here are just some ground rules for today's webinar. Just ensure your audio and video are working fine. Use earphones or headsets to just prevent any audio feedback and also to reduce background noise. Just ensure your mic is muted at all times. And always feel free to reach out to us via the chat function anytime during the webinar. And before I get started, I also would like to express my sincere appreciation to those who have been involved in making this event a successful one. We couldn't have done it without you. And I also like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for being here with us on a Saturday afternoon. We are very pleased to have many RP alumni and current students supporting us today. Yeah, so I'll just go through a little bit about today's event, digital transformation in the new economy. So we'll be covering the following areas: actionable strategies to thrive in digital economy, real-world success stories of SME and digital transformation. And we'll also be having a panel discussion with some of our RP alumni and guest speakers for today. Now, I would also like to hand over to Wei Xiang, my co-host, to introduce himself and also to fill you in on today's itinerary. Wei Xiang, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon to all of you. I feel deeply appreciated by Nirmal's speech, and definitely I'm also one of the alumni committee members helping out in this on a monthly basis. Our next webinar will be held on the 5th December, as I recall tentatively, and definitely hope to see you there once again. Please feel free to invite all your friends and fellow RP alumni, your former classmates to also join us. They are also, they could be already in the workforce, or they, some of your friends might be still studying there, or your juniors. Yes, definitely all are invited. And to start off the entire webinar, right, we are very, very happy to have Ms. Shi Yuling from Suncage Consulting. This a company where actually provides business consulting services across multiple countries, and of course big markets like China and India, also some emerging markets like Myanmar, and whenever possible they will share with you, how you can penetrate and get to know your business opportunities and even untapped potential that other companies can monetize from there. Having said all this, without further ado, let's welcome Ms. Shi Yuling to share with us more of what Suncage does, and of course herself in her point of view, how transformation is like for businesses these days, be it in the pandemic or in the digital period in the future. Ms. Shi Yuling, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Wei Xiang. Thank you for having me here today. So just let me share my screen now. Okay, so today the topic that I'm sharing about is about digital transformation for companies. Shown from here. Okay, so maybe I just give a brief overview of who we are and what we do first. So Suncage Group consists of various different divisions. Today I'm speaking on behalf of Suncage Consulting, that we do mostly on market research and strategic consulting. So we have the analytics arm, a technology arm, and also a consulting arm that is also in Myanmar. So like we mentioned just now, we actually have done many different projects in different parts of the world. And our clients, actually you can see, would include business federation, like Singapore Business Federation. We work multiple times with them, the Singapore Law Society, And other notable companies would be like Bayer and also Melissa Shoes. So as you can see over here, we have many projects done globally, and one of our key focus areas is, of course, Southeast Asia, because geographically they are very near to us, and a lot of Singapore businesses would, of course, start their business expansion in geographical areas that are nearer to us. And also China is also a big market. And Brazil and Mexico, we also done project. It's because one of my business partner is actually a Brazilian, so we have an edge over there when we go over to Latin America. So people talk about digital transformation, but sometimes they have no idea, like, is there a framework that they can follow? So Sankage, we actually came out with a framework that actually helps SME distill down the whole like very complex thing into a simple chart like this, you can see. So we always suggest that before you go into any major like digital transformation, you must first understand yourself, which is the internal assessment. And then you must understand, okay, how is the market, which over here, it means the external assessment. Only when you know yourself and what is happening in the market, then, okay, you can formulate a strategy, okay, of how you want to take your business and whether you are going overseas. Because you need to have this long-term view in mind, okay, before you can perform all your branding, marketing and branding, because the way you communicate your brand and market is very different when you're only targeting a local market and when you're planning to go overseas, okay, or whether you are actually marketing yourself as a premium brand or you are marketing yourself as a mass market brand. So all this would have to come from your internal and external and the understanding of yourself and the strategy. Now, of course, finances. They will come into how much you should budget for your digital transformation, overseas expansion, stuff, most importantly, what's your P&L? Okay, then fall into place, you can see it's your digital assets, like your CRM, e-commerce, ERP, they form the base of your business. But we usually would recommend that you go with a big strategy in mind first, from a top-down approach rather than a bottom-up approach. Okay. A lot of SMEs I encounter, okay, because most of my customers are local companies, they have this very big question when they come to me. They come to me for digital transformation or process redesign project. They get very confused or stuck in like, how do I choose a suitable software? Okay, here the key question is the system or software has to be suitable for your company. What is suitable for your friend's company, your neighbor's company might not be suitable for you, because your process is different, your products are different. So I'm going to share with some simple steps on what you can do to actually evaluate whether this particular software would be suitable for you. So why people get lost is because you look at 2011. This is just marketing technology we call MarTech. In 2011, there's only 150 of them. But up to 2019, there's 7,040 of them. So that's why people get lost very easily in, which are the solutions? There's so many, I don't know where to start. Okay, so 5 key things you should consider when it comes to looking out for the system or software for your company. Okay, what are the inefficient process that you need to improve on? Okay, this is the very first big question. Later, I'll teach you a simple way to identify inefficient process. Who will be using the system? If let's say you are having an inventory management system, and the people who are using your system are your warehouse guys, your delivery guys. So you must make sure that the system must be easy for them to use. They might be uncles in their 50s and 60s. If you use a very complex system, then it will fail because they feel that it's too complex for them to use. So you must take note of who will be using the system. Okay. Is there any other software that this system must integrate with? For example, currently you already have accounting software and you want to buy an inventory management system. You must make sure that at the back end, this software, this new inventory management system would have to be able to talk to your accounting system. Okay, you have to decide which is a more important system. If not, you have to change, you at one go, if you change 2 different systems in your company, sometimes it might lead to chaos. So what is your budget? This is a very practical question you must know. Yes, the biggest names, looks has very savvy solutions, but it might be way out of your budget. So you must determine your budget on the onset. Okay. Okay, how would this improve your customer experience? You must always remember that the digital transformation process, right? It's not because like everybody is talking about it. That's why you want to do it. At the end of the day, this whole thing would have to improve your customer experience so that your customer will feel that, hey, dealing with your company, it's a very pleasant experience and I would like to come back. Okay, and it's this digital transformation, right? At the heart of it, you must be bringing more value to your customers. It must be a whole organization approach. It's not because you as the boss says that, I think I need to do this, but your team would have to be convinced that we need to do this, and it's ingrained in your culture that we have to do this. And more importantly, it's going to enable your customer to have maybe greater convenience. Okay, you're not end up having a system that instead of like taking 3 steps to complete a purchase, instead you make them take 6 steps. So in the end, they might, I would say, abandon cart. So that might not be the best for your customers, and it will not be good for you in the long run also. Okay, so I mentioned about how you identify like inefficient process. A very simple way is actually to map out what the process flow of that particular department. So this is what I do. Okay, you don't need to do like such nice fancy one, okay, because this is part of the project that I deliver. But for you, it can be as simple as taking out a piece of paper. Okay, you and your staff, you all draw out in boxes in flow chart on what is the process and what are the different departments that are involved in this process. From there, you identify out, okay, these are the 2 or 3 processes that is choking, okay, or backlogging the whole process. Then you understand from your staff what are the challenges, and then what can be improved on. And then from there, you already know what are the areas you need to improve on, what ideally your staff and customers would want to enjoy, okay? Then you go into searching for the solutions. A simple way, okay, because like I mentioned just now, there's 7,000 over different solutions just on marketing technology. We haven't even added CRM. So you can start from this particular website, which is the government assets, gobiz.gov.sg. If you go under there, you can see on my screen, there are many pre-scoped IT solutions sub-categorized into different sectors. Okay, this is why I suggest you can go there. It's because they are pre-approved solution vendors by the government. Okay, if you purchase any systems from this list of vendors, they come with a 80% funding. So it will actually help in your budget anyway. So this, I would say, this is a good place to start, but not necessarily everybody has to take from there. Sometimes if you can't find, then you go to Google and Google for the respective solutions that you deem that it's suitable for your company. And then do a checklist. Okay, so this checklist is a simple checklist I did out for a company that is looking at their taking out an inventory management system. And why I say do out a checklist is because a lot of SME owners have this thing like, okay, I talked to 3 vendors, or what I want is in my brain. But when it's not being visualized, sometimes it's a bit difficult for you to see the pros and cons of each other. So I would always advocate that you do out a simple checklist. Put down the key criteria that you need to evaluate, like for example, inventory system. Okay, firstly, budget. Okay, how many users you need? Is it interfacing with your current software? Is it easy to use? Okay, does it update your Shopee, your e-commerce website? So all this, when you come up with a checklist like this, it becomes easier, okay, for you to have at one go see, okay, maybe system 2 and 3, it's what I can accept. Maybe it's a bit more than $1,000. It's actually $2,000, but it's a great system. So you make, evaluation like this, it's clearer for you. So the next part I'm going to talk about after the systems, is a bit more on the marketing. People would ask, wow, everything is about video right now. I need to write on social media. How to create good online content? How do I go about it? I have no idea. So this is a very simple content marketing model. This is actually by, of course, started by Google. So this is called the Hero Help Hub model. Okay, I'll go into more details on what that means. So Hero, it's like hero content, okay, like a new product launch. Help is more like, what is it, FAQ, how-to videos on YouTube. Hub is if you already have a following, you should have updates on cosmetics, how to use this, use that. So that is this model, and let me show you some example. First, I'll show you what I meant by a hero content. It's usually like an advertisement. Okay, this is actually an advertisement that Nike did this year. Of course, it was in memory of Kobe Bryant, but this is a good example of a hero content where there's a, it might go viral. Okay, take a look at the video.
Kobe taught us to be better.
Don't cheat me. Push it. Wake up every single day to get better today than you were yesterday. Whatever it takes.
Better dreamer. Better waker. Better stretcher. Better walker. Better talker. Better walking the walk and talking the talk. Better blocker. Better sprinter. Better loser. Better winner. Just be better.
Do the simple stuff right.
Better form. Focus. Better friend, better fighter, better rider, better eater. Better leader, better generation, better nation. Just be better. Can you do that?
Let's go, back at it.
Better player, better shooter, better scorer, better GOAT. Yep, better GOAT, better mentor, better minor, major, mover, shaker. Better skater, better artist, yeah. Better teacher, better preacher, better believer, better first, better future, better hero. Again, better hero, better mother, yeah. Better father, better father, better father, better father, better father. Better me, better you, better us.
Mamba out.
Better. Forever.
Okay, so this is an example of a hero content. So next, then after you launch your hero content, maybe you gather a lot of audience who was caught by that particular advertisement, start following you on your Facebook page or Instagram. So what's the next step? You need to develop help content. For example, FAQ of a product. When you drive them to your site, you need them to take some action. Maybe purchase from you or at least continue to follow you. So you need to convert them using like FAQs, how-to videos. And example over here is Gillette razors. You can see from Gillette, this particular channel over here, they talk about, like, for example, how to care for your razor, okay, about Gillette razor technology. It's how-to videos, FAQs. So this one, how to overcome the different, I would say, objections or questions that your customer might have about your brand or your product. And last one, it's of course hub. Hub is when you already have a stable following and you want them to keep following your brand, and they can be your how to say, long-term customers. And how you retain them, it's by having content that keep them interested in you. Okay, for example, this one, makeup.com, is actually by L'Oreal. Look at this, just like articles they have in sync with what is the season right now, Halloween. Okay, how to make sure your Halloween makeup won't budge. People will come back and read, and if they see some of the product they like, they would buy from you. Okay? And next one, I would say now post-COVID, if you could see live streaming, yeah, it's quite popular right now. So I will make some case study reference for you to take a look at live streaming. But a note of caution, okay? If you are not even comfortable with making videos, okay, of taking videos of yourself on Instagram for your friends, right? I would not suggest that you go jump straight into live streaming, because when it comes to live streaming, if you're not comfortable in front of camera, a lot of things can go wrong. Okay, when a lot of things go wrong, it might not be good for your brand. So it starts with practice. You can always start with your own handphone on Instagram or Facebook, take Facebook story, Instagram stories, get used to being in front of the camera. Okay, so online shopping is live online shopping is gaining traction worldwide. Okay, for people, okay, firstly, you can see this lady is called Wei Ya. She is the biggest, one of the, how to say, online shopping sellers in China, She can sell rockets, and she sold houses on live stream. Okay, just on single days last year, 3 billion yuan, that's about 600 million Sing dollars just on one day. So if you're looking at, you want to do live streaming and we see what are the best practices, I would recommend you to take a look at Via. Even though, I mean, it's in Mandarin, but she is like one of the best in class on live online shopping. Then of course we have Wang Lei in Singapore. Of course he has his people who love him and people who hate him, okay, but his style, okay. Then of course you can see Shopee right now, if you look when you are closing Double 11, that they are starting to have a lot of live selling on their platform too. So it's a trend that we can see is gaining traction worldwide. And 4 key points, okay? You must make sure your product quality has strict filtering. You must maintain high energy level, okay? Giveaways and promotion, and emphasize credibility. So some examples. Via has a team, okay, to QC all the products that she sells. Her team, people will just queue up and submit their forms and their product samples for her team to curate first. And even before Via goes online to sell, right, she usually will make sure that she will vet through the products she is going to sell before she goes online. So she doesn't just take any products to sell. So QC is very important, because if a product is not good, people will not come back to you. So this is the first thing you need to take note of. Even Wang Lei, he goes to the fish farm to see the fish inside. He makes sure that he's not selling like frozen fish as fresh fish. So this is very important. Okay, maintain high energy level. Like I say, Wang Lei is a bit controversial. Some people like him, some really dislike him because he's like, some people might think that the jokes are crude, he's still vulgar. But if you look at the bottom of it, his energy level, it's always very high when he does a live show. Okay, it's not necessary that when you do live show, you need to crack a lot of jokes and be very funny. If you look at Via, right, Via doesn't crack jokes, that much jokes on her life, but she is the top seller. Okay, she is very passionate about products and about her audience, and she is very authentic. Her energy level is always very high. So you cannot be like speaking like very tired. Nobody wants to watch you that way. Okay, so that is very important. And you need to have giveaways and promotion. That usually why people are watching your live. Okay, if you are, they must say, hey, maybe they get some promotion that will attract more people in. You can see over here. We are selling this multi-liquor for a special price and limited quantity. So it will appreciate people to actually try to purchase on the spot. And then emphasize credibility by working with celebrities. See, Kim Kardashian works with Via works with her, so promote this particular fragrance. So the credibility can actually be emphasized also through number of pieces also. Maybe the last time you already sold like maybe 1,000 pieces. So you can say that, oh, this is the most popular product. Then people will feel like, oh, okay, this product looks credible, and there's celebrity endorsement or influencers endorsement. Okay. And then the last part, people will ask, wow, okay, sounds like a lot of things I need to do, systems needs place. How can I get the money? Okay, so I'm going to talk about the money part, whereby the government support for digital transformation. So there's this PSG grant, which I mentioned earlier. You can go to the website, okay, GovBiz. Then you go and find the grants, or rather the solutions that you want. Then through the vendor, you can get him to advise you how to apply for the grant, okay, which is at 80%. And then there is this enterprise development grant. PSG grant is just now the grant that I mentioned earlier. It's really for like off-the-shelf solutions, like maybe they are less than 20,000. But let's say you need a customized solutions, and the solution costs like 30,000, 40,000, and you need a consultant advice to come in to plan for you strategically or do a process redesign. Then you can go for this EDG grant. It's also up to 80%, okay, for this year. And the requirements are quite simple. As long as a Singapore company, minimum local 30% local shareholding, and of course you have to be in a financial viable position to take up a big project. If you have been making loss for the past 3-4 years, then the government might query a bit more about how you're going to finance the particular project. Okay, and these are the different categories. 3 main pillars. Core capability. I would say under this core capability, most people will go for strategy, brand marketing development. I mean, as for my customers, okay. Productivity, if you're looking at digital transformation, it's usually either under automation or process redesign, okay. And if you're going overseas, you go under market access, like what we always has been doing for our customers, business matching. We bring them overseas and then get them to meet potential partners, potential customers. And the last part, this is a pretty popular grant in the past few months, is the Singapore e-commerce grant. This new grant that came out due to COVID. So up to 90% eligible cost for 6 months, about 9,000 for things like content development, advertising and promotion on the different platforms, fulfillment, channel management. So this one, if you want, you can go straight to like the e-commerce platform, Lazada, Shopee, Qoo10, Amazon, then you can apply it with, like, ask them for advice on how to do the application, okay? And you must not have an existing account with the chosen e-commerce platform. So let's say you already have one Lazada account, but it has not been active, that in a way disqualify you, but you can go to Shopee or Qoo10 or Amazon for that, okay? So the criteria is also the same, 30% local shareholding, annual turnover no more than 100 million. And there's one particular one for this grant is that your SSIC code starts with 47. And what is 47? It means that it's for retailers. Because if you register as retailer, your SSIC code will start from 47. So this is just a simple overview of I think the top 3 grants that would be the most applicable, to many, I would say, small businesses in Singapore that can help you kickstart your digital transformation journey. Okay, I come to the end of my presentation today. The next speaker that we have actually is Miss Eileen Liu. To introduce her, I will right now play a video, which is actually from Zaobao, that actually talks about a simple overview about her company and her digital transformation process. Just give her a moment while I try. And after this video, we would go into a simple Q&A session with her.
我觉得这个疫情呢，对我来说反而是个商机。大家好，我名字叫依琳，是 Sanico 的创办人。我们公司呢，之前是帮一些欧洲的品牌在中国做贴牌生产。在2017年呢，我们就开始推广了自己的品牌，根据新加坡的市场呢，设计了一些新的产品，叫做 Hera Buffers。那我们的东西呢，非常的客制化。我们的浴缸呢，是专门为 HDB 的洗手间设计的。我相信在新加坡呢，我们是独一无二的。很多的消费者呢，已经自己淘宝啦，所以这个生意呢，已经不能这样老旧的方法这样子做。在2019的年尾的时候，我们就开始我们公司的一些数码化的一些策略。我们整个生意呢，其实在2月的时候，因为过年嘛，外国的生意呢跟本地的生意呢就开始比较近了。然后过完年马上就疫情，在中国的工厂呢是完全不能生产的。之后新加坡也渐渐关闭了，我们这种中小型企业呢几乎是没有办法生存的。我当时就在想，公司要数码化，我必须要知道怎么样把我整个团队带上这个平台。整个5月呢，算是在家里闭关修炼吧，我就参加了很多那些课程啦。那刚巧呢，我就跟 SME Center 的 Michelle 联系上，那时候呢就跟我讲，政府在推广 Temporary Bridging Loan。所以呢，我就找了银行，然后拿了一笔贷款，这才还了我们整个公司的一个资金短缺的问题。虽然全部的那些店不能开，不代表人家不用买东西嘛，是吧？所以我们就趁这个时候呢，把我们的 Facebook 啊、Google 的 Ads 推广。我们发现呢，其实我们的那个 outreach 反而更多了。我们签了 Shopee 的一个 e-commerce booster 的一个配套，然后开始把我们的产品放在网际网络上面去推广。这个社交网络呢，只是一个 touch point 给我们的顾客，然后他们再下来我们店里，甚至叫我们的业务员去到他的家，给他推荐一些产品。之后呢，我们就直接叫他在我们的 Shopee 店面买。这样 样一路走过来呢，我觉得这个疫情对我来说反而是个商机。我们的业务量不但没有缩小，还比以前更多。然后我们也利用了 SG United 的项目，聘请了一些新人到我们的团队里面。我们希望呢，能把 Hera 这个品牌呢带到越南、马来西亚、印尼，还有澳大利亚。其实我会介绍其他的中小型老板，可能去找一下 SME Center 的一些顾问。我的 consultant 给我很多很好的建议。那我们这些中小型企业呢，怎么样可以更善用政府的这一些 program 来帮助我们的企业？
Okay, so I think that was a brief overview of who is Miss Eileen Liu. So maybe right now we just invite her online and simple Q&A session with her to share about her digital transformation journey. Miss Liu, please.
Hi, can you hear me, everybody? Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me. I hope I can give you some value add on. I was looking at Wei Xiang writing how he wants to embark on his entrepreneurial journey. Yeah, you should look for me for tea sometimes, huh? Maybe I can show you a thing or two.
Like tea in the bathtub?
Too much information. I don't think the rest want to know.
Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll just kickstart like some of the questions that the audience might have. Okay, so maybe you could just share with us what were the greatest benefit or rewards that you reap from the digital transformation process?
I think this whole COVID thing really hit us hard. Look, everybody is at home. Nobody could go out like for 2 good months. And then where are all these people? They're always on their phone, on their computer. So the only way you can reach them is through internet, through advertising online. And so, you know, our business is very brick and mortar. It is, you have to go to the shop, touch and feel that thing. And then, so the digitalization enables us to continue our business even though we are in the midst of COVID. In fact, it didn't end yet. So we were lucky we embarked on this road slightly earlier than the rest of our industry, I would say. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, the outreach was better, in fact, than the traditional brick and mortar shop.
Wow. So the industry that you're in, you know, selling bathtubs, toilet bowls, and all this sanitary ware, it's a very traditional business from what we understand. You know, we always go to shops and buy. How do you actually you know, people usually want to go online and buy in the past. How did you overcome this, you know, making them go online and take a look at your products and potentially even buy from you?
Okay, I would say that online for us is really an outreach. It's only one of the, is one touch point for our customers. In fact, it's the biggest touch point now. Customers nowadays are really smart and IT savvy. They will go do their research, who is cheap, who has got the best reviews, whose house is not, hey, where do you get your bathtub or your cabinet from? So they ask around. Information now is really, really cheap on the internet. You can gain access to anything, everything is rated. Even I think your RP professors, right? You have a rate your professor kind of thing. So doing business likewise. How should I say, this digital thing enables us to reach out to our customers for them to understand more before they even make a trip down to our shop. And it's especially important now that we have this COVID thing going on, like I was saying earlier.
Okay, so I mean, in Singapore-wise, we understand that you are gaining relatively kind of good success, right, in your digital transformation. We also know that your business is actually an international business. Hera has also expanded beyond Singapore. Maybe would you just share with us your thoughts or your experience? How did you actually manage to expand internationally?
Okay, traditionally, international expansion is only through trade shows, your contacts, whoever you know, the intro and the 介绍, normally that's how business are done. But because now, how should I say? Maybe now it's easier for me to reach out to people in Malaysia and the States and whatsoever. Say for example, maybe I share an example with you guys. Okay, we sell a lot to UK. So now I can do Zoom. Everybody can accept it. Look where we are now. We are all over the place. We have 40 people here, a good 40 people, but everybody is at their home doing, and then we are talking, we're sharing our experiences. So it's easier. Internet has enabled us to have an easier reach over country borders. So I should say, in fact, for our own brand, now that we have gained some traction in Singapore, our old plans was to actually go on exhibition and go to each of the different countries in Southeast Asia to put our products there. But I think the COVID has somehow made people more receptive to online meetings and all. So we can in fact outreach somebody. Say for example, today I want to reach somebody in Malaysia. I just concentrate my Facebook advertising, my Google advertising, all on Malaysia, and I probably get myself known in that country, and then thus far it's easier for me to find a distributor. So it's that's good and bad. Everybody can compare prices, go Taobao and buy whatever they want. It can be cheap, but if you were to stand out amid all these noises, all the cheap Taobao flashing on you, cheap, you can make some noise. You can project that kind of image online. I think it's a good playground for especially SME businesses to go overseas via this kind of a platform.
So one last question to you. I think we need to move on to the panel discussion in a while. So what advice you would have for SMEs that are starting to embark on the digital transformation journey?
Know your work. There's a lot of grounds to cover. Digitalization is not one word. It is one whole new world for me. You have content, you have social media, you have CRM, you have your fulfillment. So like Yuling was sharing, it's a whole roadmap you have to embark on. Know your maps. You probably will smash your head on some doors or whatsoever, but keep going. Yeah, you must be resilient.
Thank you, Eileen, for sharing your own experience. I think right now I would hand over back to Wei Xiang and Nemo. I think we will be going into the panel discussion. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Yulin. Thank you, Yulin, for sharing with us today.
Yeah, what Ms. Eileen has shared is really very real. Across all markets, things just go global, even if you could be as small as a startup. That said, it reminds me that it's time for
our panelists,
Edmund Gia and Mr. Darcy Lee's introduction and coming into the picture for the entire panel discussion. And I'll leave it to you, Nirmal, for introducing Mr. Edmund Gia first.
Can we have Edmund?
Hi everyone.
Yeah, and could you share with us just a little bit about your company as well today?
Right. So I'm Edmund from Biotech. So we co-founded this company in 2014. I'm still a startup, although it's already past 5 years now. We are across a couple of countries. In fact, we are a company that born global. We left Singapore 8 months into business. We went to the hardest place. So we begin in China for sure. And then we went in Australia. And then right now we place around the region of Southeast Asia per se. What we do, it's everything on Bluetooth. So imagine the days of Bluetooth. That was like 2014, or it's WeChat and stuff like that, that you shake out some presence on your social media. Yeah, the Bluetooth kind of things. So this COVID actually brings us a lot of attention. Your Trace Together token is one of them. Your co-sharing bike logs is now and then. These are all things that's on Bluetooth signals. We write a lot of Bluetooth in essence, right? Yeah, so that's what it does. Nothing fancy or the boring stuff that you can't really see right now. Yeah, so this is what we do.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Actually, just like what Kenny said in our chat group, we are happy to hear that COVID didn't deter but help digitalization grow. Isn't that true, Weisia? Maybe you can take us through, Darcy?
Yeah, for Darcy, right? Darcy is focusing on this how should I call it? It's a clothing uniform wear, right? Uniform wear across to supply across different businesses, and it could be companies, or it could be it could be up to even those wearing in the kitchen, chef and hotels and the hospitality industry. So he comes from a Merck Foundry. He's a founder for himself, and we definitely hope to hear more from him as he being the main person. He'll know more what Merck Foundry does in details. Mr. Darcy Lee, please.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Wei Xiang. Hope everyone is still with us.
They have.
So, yeah, thanks for introducing what we do. You got it spot on. So for us, we are a professional workwear solution company. Most of the times you don't see what happens behind the scenes at the places you go. For example, if you go to the hospital, what do the nurses wear? What do the doctors wear? What do the surgeons wear? These are things that we help put in place for them. So think about the scrubs, the lab coats in the research facilities during this whole COVID period. So even the hospitals, how do we ensure that their supply did not stop? Even brands like, let's say, Shake Shack, like I'm quite sure we all know, like we love the burgers, we love the fries. What do the crew wear? What do they wear behind the scenes, the disposable caps, or whatever. So all these things are put together by us. And so do you want me to share the question now, or do you want me to just end at the introduction? So basically that's what we do.
Well, yeah, sure. Either is fine. I think, Darcy, in fact, I recently, okay, I take the public transport, and I thought that the folks on SMRT needs a change in their uniform. It's been 30 years, since 1987. It could be one of your untapped potential. Just sharing. Yeah, a couple of questions. Maybe I can start with you, since we are with you right now. What digital transformation strategies do you adopt and implement, apart from the common stuff like website, Facebook, Google marketing, and all that? What are the special things that you have adopted, implemented? Maybe you can share with all of us here, as well as some other business owners here that are in the call.
Yeah, so I think this whole digitization process is something that is unique to each company. So if I were to answer your question straight up, what we did is we really automated and digitized the whole ordering processes and the operational procedures. So all the way from the second an order is put in to the manufacturing floor, how do we make sure that this whole process is connected? For us, that's what we decided to tackle. It's a huge embarkment, but something that can be done, thankfully, because we're not a big company. So I think what's more useful is the challenges and the mistakes that we made along the way. So we purchased a old company that was about 30 plus years old, who was in the corporate uniform industry. It was a really big challenge to try to digitize the whole process. And I think if we have to break that down into three simple things, it has to go down to the people, the implementation, and how do you follow through on whatever digitization strategy that you have to take on. Yeah, so for us, that was the three main challenges. If we want to elaborate on this later, we can. But yeah, for now, I think that's pretty good for us.
Sounds cool. Oh, that was great sharing as well. Mr. Edmund Gia, so let's say from your point of view, what were the top challenges that you would have faced having the same situation if you have been to, like what Darcy has shared as well? And what would you drive your organization with that? You know, how do you overcome the change?
I'm sorry, Edmund. We can't hear you. You've been muted. All right, great.
All right, so sorry.
Hear you now. No worries.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, because we are a tech company to begin with, so digitalization is part of the process, and it's hard, right, to tell people to kind of purchase Bluetooth. It's tough. All we could do is to let the signals to be more proficient in the market into different products, from your headphones to the keys to the doors to any of your accessories, smart homes, etc., etc., etc. This are the list. But it's tough because there are a lot of questions that they have. So I think the number one thing that we were working on is very much on the mentality of the staff and the whole organization, on how do we adapt and adopt more solutions in play for the whole processes. Yeah, so I guess it's of it right now in essence, for a tech company like us, is how do we do things differently, and how do we able to do it more effectively through any means of the organization itself. Yeah, so yeah, that's what we do to overcome it for now. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds fair. I guess it's rather different between you know, selling services, software versus hardware. Eileen, what's your point of view as you're selling hardware? If I may assume that it is hardware that you're actually selling, or there might be some different strategies back end. Just put into context, maybe like there's a lot of saying that McDonald's are actually in the real estate business, but they are not in the food and beverage business. But I guess you're really in the hardware business, I suppose, such as Darcy is selling the actual product also. So hardware versus software, you know, what's your point of view?
My business is a very brick and mortar business. There's no software behind it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. So because things getting digital, and how do you still push the hardware out across the digital world? You know, unlike the people selling software services, that would be you know, they're already in the tech ecosystem. Yeah. So what's your point of view? I guess your business will be rather aligned with what Darcy is trying to. Is also selling corporate uniforms and all those.
Yes, in fact, in this all this software thing, all this internet and technology thing you're talking about, for me is I mean, in terms of a sales perspective, okay, it's really touch points. Still, there is not much of my business being done online. The transaction Okay, so it's basically a touch point for people to understand me, for people to know me, for people to know about my products. But yet, how many conversions are there? I tell you, pathetic. Why? We are using, ours is a hardware thing. There's no mistake. There is you cannot have anything to overcome that. So the software part was really to gain awareness, to gain traction. It's like, okay, like for example, last time people like me will be putting their advertisements on channel 5, channel 8 for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. This no longer works. So instead of that, I'm putting my money on that. I will put my money on the Facebook, on Google advertising. That where if you have come into my website before, your cookies will be tracked, and they keep flashing my products to you. So that's what it is for me. But at the end of the day, they will still come. After they know me, they probably call, they probably WhatsApp message, and then they will come down to our place, and then that's where you close it.
Understand.
That's
Do you
what it
think
means for
AR
us.
and VR may help in your business?
Yes, definitely. But
Like
for outreach, how should I say? Singapore, it's very small.
Right.
For you to drive from Pasir Ris to Jurong,
right,
30 minutes. For a purchase that's more than 1,000, you will drive. So
right.
it wouldn't change much. It wouldn't change much because of our geographical restriction. I have got clients in the UK, in bigger countries where geographically is more vast. So they cannot drive 3 hours just to see a tub. No, they just buy, right? So in this aspect, Singapore, is really a touch point. It will only be viable if you are you're bigger. Maybe Malaysia, you're in one kampong, and then your warehouse is in Kuala Lumpur. Then you probably can have conversion.
Fair enough. I
Yeah,
recently
so
read up on this Regal technology and this Toto. I think they've been pushing a lot of smart sanitary solutions. Have you thought of also entering, or rather you might be already in that sanitary solution business also, or you're still going further more than smart sanitary solutions? For example, I went to stay in the outpost lately, not recently in the COVID-19 period, but just in the past, just that before then they just opened. Yeah, they've already have that in the hotel. Yeah, and it's so smart that it opens by itself when you enter the washroom, things like that.
Yes and no. Regals, they are really going to smart. There's a lot of big brands that are going into it. It's like the trend. Okay. So Regal really does public housing, public places like hotels, like hospitals, like shopping centers. Whereas our focus is really home-based people, residents. So how smart do you want your toilet to be?
Okay.
That's my question to you. See, so we are serving the general mass market, whereas they are going B2B. So it's a different approach. Yes, we are doing new things, but will be simple things like having a socket in your bathroom. We're trying to put that into our products. We have we have a phone, we need to charge our battery, we want to watch a movie while we're in the toilet, but do you have a socket? So that's one of the things we need to think about.
Understand. Fair enough.
Yeah, it probably don't we need to be too smart. It can be as simple as a PowerPoint.
Fair enough. As a third party right now, I suddenly can't help but notice something for Mr. Edmund and Mr. Darcy. They happen to be supplying uniforms to companies, and Mr. Gia is doing Bluetooth solutions. So I was thinking if I could use my phone, connect into Bluetooth, control my home sanitary solutions and all that. I do not know, just dreaming if it's even possible. And through that, if I know I need to repair, then I have the repair person who comes to wear the uniform made by Merck Foundry. Is it even possible? Because I noticed that there's a lot of businesses right there, they move into partnerships. Like, I mean, this is lately there's this Singapore property show. It's all over MediaCorp, right? MediaCorp partners with PropNext, and they partner with Nyko and all that. So they do a lot of virtual property viewing and all that. So maybe there could be some virtual sanitary solution viewing where they can get connected with their home solution. Maybe it could be a good class bungalow. There's so many taps and kitchen and all those stuff, and it can be all controlled by a phone. And yeah, is it even possible? What do all three of you think? I mean, Edmund, could you go ahead first? Then maybe Darcy.
Yeah, so this is common in smart home. In fact, in China, we work with property players that provides Bluetooth connectivities indoor. Very common, I think, in the next upcoming in all the new HDBs, BTO units, you have the smart home capabilities where your toilet bowels and all will have certain effects that make you feel better because aging population, whatever not, accident rates, etc. Using Bluetooth to know where all the accidents will take place. Kind of parts of it. So what we do is we also kind of tag the handyman on their uniform, and then make sure that they are really there servicing, and then just not clock in the overtime fee. And that it's via the uniform itself. So we provide handymans in China to Pizza Hut, KFC around the whole China. So this is one area that we do provide the capability using Bluetooth. Yeah, so I think whatever you said is not a dream. It's happening. Maybe not here, for sure, because like what Ellen said, we are pretty small income in our geographic, right? 5.3 million population. You probably want to go elsewhere to explore furthermore. And this will definitely allow you to look a lot on your digital transformation and what actually your product could have in mind. Yeah. So that's my personal take and what we could be in fact happening around the globe outside of Singapore. Yeah.
By implementing this, do we consider increase in cost by the consumer or reduction in cost over time? Is this considered scaling? Like what they say is always, I want to scale, I'm going to scale my business. Or is this considered scaling?
Yeah, so based on experience and all that we have done, we saw that the amount of overtime clocking in terms of attendance has drastically dropped right now, because you have to be in the vicinity and then on that particular area before you could clock in that you're here working, right? So you do not have it's kind of a peak bill to the businesses. So what they do is they usually will pass across to the end consumer in their maintenance of the product. For example, you buy hardware, you have a 1-year DLP or probably some warranties in place. So then what the business would do is these are things that they will actually consider across per unit price, right? So that's one thing that end consumer could actually enjoy, a kind of like a little reduction in fee. Yeah, so possible. Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like there's a good value chain here. Then, Miss Yuling, do you have any, as a consultant, I don't know, maybe you think, do you think this will work?
Okay, market viability, of course, it has to be driven by market demand. I think Edmund mentioned just now, it's not a far-fetched dream. I mean, what they were talking about, but we never know. But I guess as any businesses, before you embark on any potential new projects, that's a lot of innovation. I would strongly suggest that you do your market research. It might not be the kind of whereby you read, like I do it professionally, I would like search and read. But as SME owners, I would suggest at least go to the ground and speak to maybe your customers, your suppliers, to really gather information whether there is firstly a demand for your innovation, like this particular innovation that you're coming out with. Then what are the costs involved? This could be on the ground market information gathering. Then you I would always advocate to have a strategy. If you do tactical, what I mean by tactical is, let's say me and next door, we are selling, I don't know, provisions, okay, normal day, goods provisions. Would be tactical, he 10% discount, I do 20%. Then you are fighting on a tactical level, but you go on a strategic level, when you come into this kind of high innovation, investment is needed. It's better to speak to people on the ground, suppliers, and even the experts. I believe the different polys, you have different centers of innovations. You first going to find out how much would it cost or like to make this particular idea viable or not before you embark on it. You don't want to build something that's a white elephant and that costs the investment that is huge, such a big amount that you don't get an ROI. So businesses, it's always ROI. So that's my thoughts about going into innovation and the different things you can do to see if there's a market demand or viability for your product.
That's very true. That's very true. One final question, maybe Darcy, may I direct the question specifically for you, since you're in the selling an actual product, and it's pretty interesting as we can't like so-called manufacture a uniform online, right? We can't manufacture it digitally. We need to really sew it, be it hand or by the machine. How do you really transform this digitally, or rather maybe in your value chain? I understand you can't manufacture it digitally, but how do you bring your business to be really, maybe not 100%, 90% digital? Do you have any strategies in mind right now? Maybe if, let's say, any business startups today, they are starting up out today, or maybe on 31st October today, right? Or for myself, today I want to start a business in doing the same like yours. What should I do so that I can avoid what you have experienced in the past and to push it digital almost immediately? What would you do? It's of course the no right, no wrong thing. It's just for discussion's sake. What would you do?
Yeah, I think if you want to start a business in the same space, I will invite you to join us. That's the first thing I would do. Then having said this, I think as per what Yuling mentioned just now, it's very important to identify what are the areas that are possible that can be digitized. So you mentioned that in our industry, you're talking about cents and like a few dollars per piece. So for a company to invest in software or like a machine that can automatically sew a uniform, not everyone would want to do it. So if this is your problem statement, then you have to work with what are the areas of inefficiencies and how do you remove away repetitive tasks. I think once you can remove away repetitive tasks and implement a solution and then test it to make sure that it is a solution and not a problem, then I think you have a way forward. So for example, let's say just now I mentioned from the order process all the way down to manufacturing is automated for us. In the past, this could take a few days just to get it done. I think, Eileen, if you have your own factories, you kind of understand what I mean. Order comes in, you need like 30,000 toilet bowls, and then you go out to the drawings, you call your manufacturing floor, your operations manager, hey, the factory got space now, or can do now, or are we backlogged, are we this, are we that? All these things can be digitized. So for us, what used to take a few days or weeks now can be done within 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Yeah, so it's important to find out where what you can digitize and what can be changed. So even for a school organization like RP, or even yourself like you guys in the RPAC, what processes that are repetitive that you can try to make simpler. And automation does not need complex algorithms or like high-end developers to happen. You know, a simple Excel sheet can help you do wonders. Even let's start somewhere, then test it, and then if it does solve the problem, then go move forward and see how else you can improve on it. I think that makes a very big difference.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Ms. Xu Ling. Thank you, Ms. Eileen. Thank you, Edmund. Thank you, Darcy, for attending this webinar. I've really learned a lot personally from all of your sharing. I hope the rest as well. I hope, Namal, have you learned anything? I think you do, right?
Yes, actually, to summarize, I came across this quote. It says, technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of the great teachers can be transformational. So I think that's a good take-home message, to know that technology helps us a lot. And we also need to keep an open mind and to be more adaptive towards the near future as well.
Thank you, Namal. To sum it all then, thank you very much. Certainly wish you a great weekend ahead, and goodbye for now. We'll hope to see you soon in our next webinar, 5th December. Before you leave, please do scan your QR code, and we want to hear a lot of feedback from all of you, be it attendees or be it speakers. We are here to serve you. Yeah, please scan a QR code. It's nothing new anymore. It's, you have to scan the QR code wherever you go these days. Yes, please do. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Wei Xiang. Thanks, Namal. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Wei Xiang. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Enjoy your weekend.
Bye.